This chicken coop is a lot bigger than the last time I was here.
Well, we separated some parts of it.
Yeah.
Because we've got a sheep and a goat. Somebody gifted me the goat, and now the goat has kids, huh? You say in English?
Yeah, kids.
So we had to make some space for the goat, so the chickens had to move in a little bit. But it's still the same system. We use the compost of the chickens, spread it on the fields or in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Same system as
Do you
for the
think
last
that
years.
any of these chickens are the same chickens as when we last filmed?
One of them definitely is.
Really?
Yes, it's one of the black ones. It's a really small kind of breed.
Yeah.
They're very tough. All the others I have switched, and I think this is one of the biggest changes or developments that had happened since we filmed last time. I'm using these chicken tractors that I'm building we together with colleagues from work that are really, really practical. Like you see them in the internet, you see many building plans, but we've changed them a little bit to adapt them to the environment. We have a lot of predators that come from the ground, like
Weasels and things,
yeah. So we had to really make them proof against something digging in underneath it, and the electric fences keep the dogs out. But I basically use the grass of the land by having the chickens on it.
Right.
And then I can have multiple batches of chicken go through different places on the land, harvest the grass, and then I sell the chickens. So they make really good meat, really tasty meat.
So you're cycling chickens to make a profit.
Exactly. And
but you also have some chickens that you retain, you keep.
I have the ones that you saw there. They are usually I keep for eggs, and they're kind of the nicer breeds. So the thing is that you have to use what's growing on the land.
Mm-hmm.
So if the conditions are harsh, the short season grasses will grow as soon as it's wet, and then they dry out in summer. So I decided, how can I use those grasses? And chickens are really good for that. So they trample down, they create mulch on the ground, they eat the grasses, they scratch it up, and the only thing that's really important is you have to move them away from the place fast enough. Otherwise they will destroy the ground.
They'll destroy all of it.
So we can have a look later there. You can basically always see the place where the chickens were last. My mom's planting sunflowers everywhere she can. So she always brings sunflowers, which is nice for the chickens.
Like for me, if I say someday I want to have chickens, just for myself and let's say 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, something like this, how many are needed to provide eggs, to keep them, to retain them continually?
If you have these breeds that they have here, you maybe need 20, 25 chicken.
Yeah.
And then just always let them go broody.
Yeah.
1 or 2. And then they will always give you some roosters that you can just also have meat. But
if you're keeping
lay eggs enough for a small family.
With 20 chickens?
Yeah.
I would have thought that it'd be fewer than that.
Well, depends on how much eggs you eat.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
We eat a lot of eggs here. And then you have some that always are roosters. These ones don't have the luxury to be free today.
These chickens look very nice though. Most of them look very healthy.
They are.
In terms of what their feathers look like. This guy, not so much.
But that's the breed.
Is it the breed?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I
thought he had been attacked in the chicken tractor.
No. I have enough space in there. They only stay there in the night. But the key is to really have them aerated. So below it's open.
Right.
So there's no draft in the chicken tractor.
Okay.
So they will not get cold.
Oh, because it's the whole thing is the same temperature.
Everything is the same temperature, and there is no real no wind going through it.
So
but it can aerate.
it might be cold in there, but it's not a wind coming through that's cold.
Exactly.
Got it.
And that's the key, that you have enough aeration. I clean it out because it's open to the ground, so it's really clean for them. And it makes maintaining the microbes and the sicknesses really.
What is this monstrosity over here?
That's something my mom planted.
It looks like a jungle when you walk through here, and then there's just this. What is that?
This thing.
Do you know?
In Germany, it's an artichoke, but I'm not sure if it's the same thing in English as in German.
Right.
So we're quite curious to see the flower that
Let's
it
see
creates.
what happens.
The good thing is neither the goat nor the ducks eat it.
It's probably hard to find something that neither one of them eat.
Yes. But we will have a lot of cherries this year.
Yeah, these trees. So when I was here, when I was filming the last time, the other video, you were walking through the apricot trees and saying, this is the kind of grass, the first kind of grass I want to get rid of.
So
it's mostly gone.
Well, and
I still see some bits and pieces of it.
The chickens took care of that.
The chickens destroyed the grass.
So what the chickens do, they trample everything down.
Yeah.
And eat what they want to eat. But I want to get this really intense grazing effect.
Yeah.
That I have them here for 5 days, and you can see the lines where they were fenced in. So here they were for 5 days, and then I moved them over there, and that's the second day they're over there.
Yeah.
So they will get rid of the grasses that basically are short season grasses because they cannot get to seed.
Right.
And then you will have other things that go like clovers and these things.
Yeah.
They will grow up. So that was the intention, because few other things grew here.
Right.
It's in summer it gets so dry and tough that not many other things can grow beneath the trees. And so, but grasses, I can use them.
Is this a berry bush underneath this tree?
No, it's just the root stock of this tree.
It's
coming
a tree
coming
trying
through.
to expand or something.
Exactly. The greenhouse has provided through the whole winter, so it's basically salads and now tomatoes. We've planted tomatoes in, sunflowers, and
Always sunflowers everywhere.
It's everything from the chicken compost system and the leaf mulches.
It's really moist in here.
Mm-hmm. And now we've planted the spicy peppers.
Yeah, like a chili or a jalapeno or something.
Yeah, the small chili peppers, because it will get very hot, and they like that here.
Is this dirt that's in here all from your composting?
Yes, that's all from
It looks so nice.
It's either leaf mulch from the leaf mulch compost or from the chickens. We mix it always, because if you have too much of the chicken, it's too much nitrate for some of the plants.
Right.
It's very nice for lettuces, but some of the other plants don't like so much of the nitrate. Yeah, but we have just switched the back part of it.
Yeah.
Is still not harvested, so we have onions there. The sweet peas.
Yeah.
And we will harvest them in the next weeks and then plant one more time salad. We have a summer hardy salad plant, because when it gets too hot, lettuces don't like that.
Yeah.
They will, and they shoot. So we're trying that this year.
Interesting.
But then pretty much it will be all with tomatoes. The forgot the name. Spicy ones.
Chilies.
The chilies.
Okay, what this is new.
Yeah, the duck pond.
Yeah. They look very happy in there.
Oh yeah, they still go wherever they want on the land though, but they always come back here in the night. So
They can get out of this fence?
they fly out. They
they
go
fly
out
out.
here. The fence is more that something doesn't get in and them
okay.
getting out. So it's more for their protection. So in the evening, most of the things stay out of the fence because I've also lit the electric line.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps a lot.
This helps with the atmosphere of things too. Even though it's kind of tucked back here, you could put a little bench on something
Yeah.
and it'd just be, I mean, the water doesn't look great, but
The water is also the water is really good for watering grasses.
right, because it already has all this fertilizer.
It
and
has
stuff
so
in
much fertilizer.
So do you use it to water
yes,
stuff?
What we do, we have this little solar pump
Yeah.
that you just put in the sun. It pumps out 40 liters a minute, and we pump it all empty during like 2-3 days, and spread it out on the whole grass between the trees, and then we fill it up from the lake again. So and then
How do
they
you
have
get the water from the lake?
Well, I have the fire hoses,
Oh, okay.
so it's a couple of minutes work
Yeah.
to fill it up.
Wow.
The fire pump,
Yeah.
they're really strong.
I didn't know your solar pump did things that quickly.
Well, not the solar pump, but the
No, I know, but also the solar pump.
Yeah. It's really good. But also here is a little experiment place that we did for the red clovers.
Okay.
I wanted to see, do they like the environment here? Do they grow well? Because clovers make improve the ground a lot. They improve the soil really much.
Yeah.
And you can use them for animals.
Right.
So you get the double benefit from
Right.
them.
You use it as feed.
Exactly. So I planted this 2 years ago, and I'm using it for seed and putting it on the other field that I'm planning to have it grazed by the animals, also by the chickens. This part, these trees, basically they didn't grow at all.
Yeah.
It's to me it's always this, okay, some things also just do not work.
Right.
And I dug out one of them just to see why
Right.
are they not growing. And basically the roots were in the exact same hole that it was planted in. They didn't go further.
So was it the dirt that was too tough for them to break
I
through?
think the compaction of the soil was so high and the quality of the soil so bad that they couldn't get out of the planting.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's my explanation. I'm not sure.
Are these all the same kind of trees?
They're very similar, but most of the bigger reason was here the water, when it falls, it runs to the side here.
Ah, okay.
So the soil here is always dry, and when soil is dry, it's really hard.
Yeah, okay.
So they weren't able to loosen up the soil
So that's
enough.
why these trees all...
This whole other side it's a bit like a slope, a very, very slight slope.
Yeah.
But it's enough for them not to be able to advance. At least that's my explanation. I don't have another one. But they all of these trees on this side and here, this part, they struggle, and from here to the rest of the field, they are perfectly fine.
Yeah, they all look great.
And they get sick. They will barely produce. They will be. I need to water them in summer. The other ones are fine. I don't need to worry about them. But it is what it is. I'm using the field different here. So here you
This
see
rice? It almost feels like it's rice patties.
These are oats mostly,
Yeah.
but it's mixed with some
Rye or something?
no, this is wheat.
Wheat?
Wheat. This is wheat because it reseeded itself.
I mean, I think that's wheat, not weed.
That's wheat. It reseeded itself from last year. I had wheat on this,
Ah, okay.
and then I had corn on this field, so without any fertilizer or stuff. So just with the microorganisms.
It just grew back.
Well, now it's coming back, but
Oh.
the oats I planted on purpose
Yeah.
between the corn, so it stayed over the winter, reseeded itself, and now I have a good, relatively good food source for the animals again.
Right.
But here I'm now in this field. I'm spreading clover. I'm seeding clover,
Right.
and when the rain comes over the spring now, I hope it establishes a good pasture slowly. This is my hope, because then all the chickens, the place where they stay will be under the trees, but the fences will go up to this area here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you move them slowly, and they can eat here enough.
So when I was here last time, this section was still being used by the neighbor.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest challenges now, that this is really, I have to restart the life
Yeah,
in the soil.
lacks a lot of life
Yeah,
that's
so
needed for this sort of stuff.
I didn't plow it this year anymore.
Yeah.
I just did deep,
Like tilling or something.
yeah, a deep ripping
Yeah.
through it, so it rips the compaction. And all I'm doing now is basically seeding into the field, so, and very slightly getting the seed in the ground, really,
Right.
really lightly with a small tiller,
Yeah.
and even so light that these roots will usually just come back.
Yeah.
And the reason is just not to disturb the soil life. And then I threw 20 bales of hay on this field last year, so you can still see it in some places.
Mhm.
And for me, this is always a measurement on how healthy the soil is.
Right.
If it's still here after a year, it's really not that active. On the other fields that I planted some years ago,
It
when
breaks down,
it-
gets eaten
yeah.
by microorganisms.
It's
and
like
worms
a
and things.
matter of 2 months, and
Oh,
then
wow,
it's
okay.
gone. Like, because it's wet enough, and it will just get turned into compost. But the solar pump I also use when I don't need it for other irrigation. I just put drip irrigation lines here, you can see them,
Yeah.
and just pump water on it to get the water cycles started,
Yeah.
until enough things grow that I don't need that anymore. Here were the roosters. If you look at the square,
Oh yeah, you can really tell.
you see here was
Wow.
that's where they were last week. And if you leave them too long, they will damage it. So
Right.
here then, after they go away, I will water it, so it comes back.
Speaking of damaging,
Yeah.
just making holes in the ground.
While on the other field, you see that they were on this area here, on
Yeah.
this spot. So because there are so much more growing, so much more diversity, they cannot damage the ground.
Right.
But here, because it was a tilled field, they do
Right.
a lot more damage. So I have to be really careful not to let them long here. That was then 10 days ago. That was 15 days ago. So you have
Oh,
them.
you can see it.
You have the grass coming back, and that's then 20 days ago.
Yeah.
So here it's almost I could send them here again.
Right.
Leo's not doing his job, huh?
No, he's not. He had one job.
So here I'm also trying to get a more normal way of growing things,
Yeah.
more normal in this country, but only with the methods that I'm using with these microorganisms.
Right.
So of course I use a little bit of manure. I use straw covering to mulch it. But basically it's improving the soil every year.
Right.
But having it in a more traditional way, so just rows and not interplanting too much, not making things complicated. So I can also show other small farmers, look, this is also how it can work. So, but this is the first year I'm doing this on this field, and
it's crazy to me the difference between the look of these two things.
and I will show you. Like for example, look at this. The color and
Yeah.
the strength. Like I need to break that up
Right.
mechanically, otherwise the plants will suffer.
Right.
Or I can water it and mulch it so worms do it. And then on the other side, where I've been doing mulching, covering it up for more than 3 years now, you see this is the same. Basically, it's just side by side.
Right.
But this has been managed different over the past 3 years, and the color is way darker.
Right.
Because this has grown in organic matter. You agree, Leo? So to me it's really amazing because I didn't think that you could see it so much. And I didn't notice it myself until I started
until you
using
see
that, and I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that's quite a difference.
Well, it's like we're saying, it's this slow, very slow change
Yeah.
over 2 years, 3 years, and then you notice the difference when you can compare it.
Yeah. But now I notice I should have picked another plant. This one got eaten by the goat.
You know it's raining,
It's starting to rain,
Yeah,
which is actually good.
That storm's starting to come.
but
Yeah.